everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott. It's time for the Almost Friday show for December 30th, 2010.
It's the last show of the year for us.
It is.
We've been doing video for almost a full year now.
Almost a couple weeks off.
But it is the wrap of 2010. And as such, we are bringing you a wrap-up show, a little bit of a look back as well as a look forward. In Off the Press, we're going to be talking about what we're excited about in coming years in
movies,
in
video
movies
games.
and video games. Yeah, absolutely. In Lightning Round, Dave and Sam are telling us their top picks of comics from this year.
Yep.
And then Tech Insight.
Taking a look back, there's a lot of tech news this year, as there always is. Take a look back at the 7 top stories that I picked out.
That
all
really
which,
had the internet aflutter.
Yeah, and you'll probably be very familiar with almost all of them. Yeah. That's how it rolls.
In science, Sean's showing us some other crazy robot stuff, because that's what Sean does.
It's appropriate,
crazy
really.
robot stuff.
Yes.
And Behind the Lens, we're bringing you our indie film guide for 2011, telling you how to make some movies on the cheap. And we're also going to tell you our camera and gear of the year pick.
Yes. The coveted AFS camera of the year.
And now that Christmas is over, we're bringing back our Law of the Week, and this time it's animals with British accents.
The BBC does animal voiceovers. Brought to you by the BBC.
Because that's what the BBC does, is brings things to
How many times can we say BBC in 1 segment?
I don't want to try.
Too many.
And with that, it's time for Off the Press. Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Press. We're kicking it off by talking about some stuff that we're excited for next year because, well, it's the end of this year, and no more cool stuff's coming out this year.
Well, unless something awesome comes out tomorrow, but...
Pretty sure we'd know about that.
Yeah.
But we're going to start with some movies and television shows that we're excited for. We've kind of broken it down sort of by months, I suppose.
Sort of.
So kicking it off in January, we got The Green Hornet, which looks pretty cool.
It's in 3D.
It's directed by
IMAX.
Michael Gondry, and he makes awesome stuff. So I'm excited because half the things you think are CG by him are not, which is really cool. Seth Rogen looks like he could be pretty funny. And there's some pretty awesome camera work, so I'm excited for that. In February, if you're a Justin Bieber fan...
oh my god!
oh my god, he's only been doing it for 2 years, but he already has a movie telling you about the last 2 years of his life, because important things apparently happened, like, I don't know, he got popular or something.
Apparently the Justin Bieber movie called Never Say Never is going to be in 3D as well.
Yeah, and that's just going to cause a whole bunch of 14-year-old girls to end up dying when they try and jump towards the screen at him and fall aisles down and then break their necks on the chairs. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be pandemonium, a bunch of girls are going to die, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of epileptic seizures.
Sweet.
But it's all going to be done in 3D, so I'm excited.
Pretty awesome.
In March, we got Battle of L.A., which looks pretty cool. It's sort of a...
Alien. Sort of
there's a lot of alien movies. Aliens and
alien
zombies
movies.
and vampires. Those are the cool things these days. So there's some more
There's
alien
also
movies.
Sucker Punch coming out in late March.
Which is basically...
really cool.
Is basically everything you could possibly think of all in one movie.
Yes, it's
And
a
then,
good
and
movie
then
for
there's
sure.
some more stuff that happens on top of that.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Coming into April, we've got Fast and the Furious 5, or
Also
what is
known as-
just being called Fast 5, which is the stupidest title I've ever
It's also
heard.
Vin Diesel's summer vacation.
Yeah.
It's him driving around in fast cars. Yay.
In this episode, we're going to take you to
Brazil.
Bora Bora. Oh wait, you already did that one in Triple X. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
So moving on to the big blockbuster releases of the summer, it's gonna be a huge year for superhero movies. Looks like Thor is gonna be kicking that off in May.
Which looks pretty cool.
Pretty
Also in
excited about
3D.
it. Yeah, I finally saw the 3D trailer right in front of Tron, and you know what? The 3D doesn't look that bad.
No, I'm. Dave was under the impression that it wasn't shot in 3D, but I'm under the impression it is shot in 3D. So we'll see what actually happens.
More on that later.
More on that later. More as news unfolds, or as one of us goes to look it up on Google. Then we got some new X-Men movie coming out called First Class, which is...
The title's been changed apparently, maybe, and there's also no press about it at all, which is kind of surprising since it's coming out in 6 months.
Well.
What the hell, no, this isn't Marvel, it's like Warner Brothers or something.
And let's all be honest, I mean, in the last Wolverine movie, Xavier was CG, so...
It wasn't even scary Jeff Bridges CG, it was just scary CG.
Yeah. Then we got Super 8, which is sort of this underground, don't really know what's
Also, no
happening.
press about it except a teaser that played in front
I think
of a
that's the
major
point,
movie.
though.
Mhm.
I think it's supposed to be kind of like how Cloverfield was, where no one really
Exactly.
knew what was happening with that movie. So that looks kind of interesting. All we know is it's probably some sort of monster movie.
and then the next couple of movies come out is the Green Lantern movie and Rise of the Apes, which is a prequel to the Planet of the Apes.
Which is just like
series.
also a terrible, terrible idea.
Terribly awesome idea.
But moving on, Transformers: The Dark of the Moon, which we showed you a trailer for last week. Which so if you were excited about that, get ready for it because it's coming in July.
On Canada Day, actually. So moving on still further, we got the Captain America movie, as well as Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Which is the last movie
Yes.
that wraps up the Harry Potter franchise.
The last movie of the last movie.
Yeah. So Harry Potter fans, when that movie ends, you'll all have to go home and cry because there will be no more Daniel Radcliffe in a Harry Potter role.
Wah, wah.
Until something happens where Daniel Radcliffe has to be in a Harry Potter role again.
Which we'll never do because apparently he really likes doing theater.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool.
And then finally, Cowboys and Aliens later in the summer, which looks pretty cool. Daniel Craig's awesome, and I think it's
Harrison
Ford's in it as
Yeah.
well. That's going to be an awesome pair up.
So that's just what we're looking forward to in the first half of 2011. Unfortunately, there's no solid dates for anything in the second half, so more on that as it comes up, most likely.
And kicking off in the early months, we got Doctor Who Season 6.
Yeah, probably coming out around April, because that's usually when they launch their new seasons, around Easter time. So a trailer was played right after the Christmas special.
So I'm going to run that for you now.
Where's the doctor? I've been running. Faster than I've ever run. Now it's time for me to stop. I'm going to need a SWAT team ready to mobilize, street level maps covering all of Florida, a pot of coffee, 12 jammy Dodgers, and a fez. Somewhere different, somewhere brand new. I wear a Stetson now. Stetsons are cool.
We've been recruited.
Recruited by who?
You're going to have to trust us this time. You have to do this, and you can't ask why.
My life in your hands. Amelia Bond. You see these eyes? They're old eyes. And one thing I can tell you. Monsters are real.
Oh, that looks pretty exciting.
Very exciting.
There's a lot of Utah going on.
I especially love the helicopter shots of Utah.
Um,
They're definitely showing off. It's like, oh my god, guys, look, we're filming somewhere not in Europe.
And the Doctor's a cowboy, which is cool.
The Stetsons are cool.
Yeah. That's what he does. He likes hats, apparently.
I like hats. Hats are cool.
Hats are cool, especially when Matt Smith is wearing them.
Mm-hmm.
But if maybe you don't like cinematic adventures that you can't play with your own hands, instead we've got a list of games for you that are coming out. Next year is like the year of
City.
sequels. Yeah.
Oh my god. But then again, games that aren't sequels probably don't get as much press as the games that are sequels.
It's
and
true.
We don't really know what the next, the next Angry Birds is going to be, or the next Crisis or something,
Yeah.
Unless it's Crisis 2. That's not what I meant.
So just to go through a couple games you can be excited for next year, we got Little Big Planet 2.
Coming out mid-January.
And Little Big Planet 1 was a game of the year for PlayStation, which is
And
pretty
it's
cool.
still selling huge amounts today.
Yeah, so
all
Little
the
Big
time.
Planet 2, I'm not sure what they're going to add to it, but I'm sure it'll be
Move
interesting.
controls.
Yeah, oh, that sounds like a bad idea.
No, it'll be easier to drag and drop shit
Oh,
when you're building your levels.
Crisis 2's coming out, so when that comes out, there won't be a single computer in the world that can play it.
Even God's computer
even
can't
God's
play
computer
it.
can't play Crisis, let's be honest. So everyone's going to get to watch that at like maybe 75% graphics, and then just be happy with it, I suppose.
I suppose.
So we'll see. I guess, when Crisis 2 comes out, there'll be a competition to who can actually make the computer that can play Crisis 2.
That should be exciting.
Or maybe they'll get really smart and make Crisis a little bit more, accessible.
No,
Oh, that's
that
not
could
the
be
point.
boring.
I suppose.
Come on.
Dead Space 2 is coming out, which is kind of cool. Dead Space 1 was a really interesting take on the survival horror video games.
Sean really likes that game. He talks about it all the time. So
Another game Sean really likes is Portal 1,
Portal.
and its follow-up Portal 2 is
Two's
coming out.
mid next year.
And it looks pretty cool. They've really ramped
Oh,
up the
yeah.
graphics on it.
Probably new puzzles.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of new different player modes where you can play co-op. Or
I think
play by
they've really
yourself.
flushed out the game to make it bigger than it was before as
Yeah.
well, which is going to be exciting.
There's also Gears of War 3 coming out the second half of next year, as well as Uncharted 3.
I'm excited for Uncharted 3.
With a cameo by Nathan Fillion.
Oh, that's
for
cool.
reals.
Uncharted 2 was a fantastic game, and in my opinion, one of the best games for PlayStation 3. It's kind of like if you needed a game to buy PlayStation 3 because of, Uncharted 2 would be my pick, because it was a great game. And then we've got Mass Effect 3. They're apparently steamrolling through that game.
And Mass Effect 2 finally coming out for the PS3 early 2011 as well, because it's currently not on the PS3.
And not to forget our Wii players. For all of you who have been waiting for an actual Zelda game
That was
designed
actually made
for
for
your
Wii.
system,
Yeah.
the new Legend of Zelda game will be coming out in January.
January, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't remember the name of it, but it has been advertised.
Some
in
sort of
January.
Legend of Zelda crazy name
Something
of
about Link. There's gonna be
mysticalness.
some transformation happening, and then swords and shields and all that stuff.
Hyrule will be involved,
Yep.
and possibly a princess.
Who is mysteriously missing.
Yeah.
I think she's sleeping with Bowser.
Are we going to see Diablo 3?
Doubt it.
Maybe? No.
2 more years.
2 more years, exactly. Or Blizzard.
Oh, hi Blizzard. Thanks for calling. Yes, you wanted to clarify? We won't ever see Diablo 3? Okay, good to know. Thank you. Well, that's Diablo 3 Vaporware. All right, good to know.
Like StarCraft Ghost. Or Blizzard has been talking about their mysterious 4th property, so maybe they'll be announced this year at BlizzCon?
Diablo
Maybe?
2.5.
No? Lost Vikings, The Return. Yeah.
And the game we're all most excited for, Duke Nukem Forever.
Always bet on Duke.
Yeah. Because Duke Nukem was such a stellar game that making a sequel is just necessary. And, you know, we've all waited
It's gonna suck.
what is it, 4.5 decades for this new one?
Seems like it, yeah.
Technically, it's the 3rd one of the series.
Whatever, dude. Whatever. So in other gaming stuff that's supposed to be coming out this year, the Nintendo 3DS is supposed to come out in North America in March, I believe, or late March, early April-ish.
And for all you who are waiting for your Rock Band 3 keytar that hasn't shown up yet, hopefully you'll get it this year.
You can get it in the States, but you can't get it in Canada.
I think it has something to do with Canadian, laws. The keytar, when it slides on the ice at under 8 kilometers an hour, breaks upon impact, and that why,
Yes.
because of that, it's not allowed into Canada. It doesn't pass Ministry of Transportation guidelines of things you can rock on. So.
Exactly. But when it does come to Canada, I will be buying it as soon as I possibly can.
And then this show will just be filled with all kinds of keytar solo swipes.
There will be hair metal all over the place, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So lots of things to look forward to next year, and we will bringing you constant updates on all the stuff as it
Especially
develops.
Spider-Man the musical.
Yes, because
Because
that catastrophe is doing so well.
Because if there was a news story of 2010, it would be Spider-Man the musical.
Or rather, the lack thereof.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's off the press for this week.
Welcome, everyone. This is From the Gutters. We're going to be doing a best of
A
2010.
lightning round in review.
Yeah,
Sort of.
it's interesting because Sam brought up the subject because we were going to be doing a lightning round, and I was like, lightning round, awesome. And then Sam brought up the idea of doing a best of. And what I find most interesting is that we both, without talking to each other about it,
We sent like 2 text messages. I'm like, hey Dave, do you want to do a lightning round in review? He's like, oh yeah, sure. It'd be a lot easier because comics are a day late this week. I'm like, okay, cool. See you later. See you later.
but then it turned into sort of milestones of the year.
Yeah.
And that was totally inadvertent. At any rate,
Yep.
I'm going to be starting off our milestones really of the year with Essex County. Essex County is written and illustrated by Mr. Jeff Lemire. An excellent job this guy did. It was originally 3 graphic novels that were collected into one book. And
It's a giant book.
it's a very
Oh,
big
yeah.
book. Very neat, very easily read summation. It's a really good flavor of Canadian rural life, I thought, in these in this one collection. It also made top 5 Canadian books,
Yep.
and which was backed up by Tegan of Tegan and Sarah. It's a really good book.
This is
It's-
the Canada Reads list put up by the CBC every year.
Yeah, it's a really well done piece. I highly recommend it. But it's so absolutely not superheroes.
Yeah.
If you need superheroes, if you need spandex in your books, do not read Essex County.
Yeah, this is a graphic novel. In
It really is,
Every
yeah.
sense of the word graphic
Very
novel.
much a la Blankets, Craig Thompson's Blankets. So I really enjoyed it. And the big thing about it is, it's sort of reaffirming that comic books can be graphic novels.
Yeah.
And sort of legitimizing, again, we've had a lot of legitimizing of the craft in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is, again, a very solid piece that brings up the idea that, you know what,
Yeah.
this isn't just a comic book, and comic books are not just for kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, Essex County, for me, milestone number 1 this year.
Cool. My first milestone pick is Box 13. This is the 100% digital comic that was released. I'm pretty sure it began in 2009, but most of it
Yeah.
actually took
October
place in,
13th, 2009. I
Yeah,
believe.
so most of it actually took place in 2010, and the paper book was released in 2010, so it
Yeah.
still counts. Why I chose this book is just because, especially this year with Marvel and DC getting really into digital comics, I find that digital comics are definitely a thing that will stick around.
Well, especially with Comixology
Yeah, with the
coming to the
Comixology
fore, really.
app and the iPad and all these people, like the color e-readers are coming out.
It's
and the
it
tablets
isn't
and
just a genre, or
Yeah,
it isn't just a hobby or something.
Yeah,
now.
it isn't just like webcomics
It's-
anymore.
yeah.
It's like real comics are
It's got
heading
a
digital.
venue. It's got a
Exactly.
venue, and it's something that anyone can anyone who
And this is sort of like not exactly a mainstream comic made for digital, but it's one of the first. It's the first one to get a lot of press.
well, not only that,
because
but
it
it was one
launched-
of the first ones that really was designed specifically
Yeah, it was
for
written-
the portable
Yeah,
market.
it was written to be viewed on like a 4-inch
Because there have been other webcomics that have been designed for
for the
your
screen.
computer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This one.
But this one was it had in mind
Yeah, written
your
and
mobile
drawn
device.
for a 4-inch screen,
Yeah.
so that it was originally made mostly just for the iPhone. So
Yeah.
it was made for that form factor, and when they made it into a book, it still worked as a book. But if you're reading it in the app, it just the way it moved is a lot smoother than if you were to read a paper comic in the app.
Yeah.
So definitely choice number 1 for me.
For the second one, Thor and the Warriors 4.
Yay.
We reviewed this not too long ago. But for me, I chose it as a milestone because this was sort of a revival of comic books that are for kids and grown-ups.
Yeah, for all ages.
And this is one that I think is really great for sharing. There are not a lot of comics out there where I can read it to my kids, and you know what, I'm equally entertained.
Yeah.
If I had children.
You can read it to your nieces and nephews.
So anyway, I really enjoyed this book, and I think that more books like this are really important, especially if comic books are going to try to garner a younger readership that will eventually grow.
I can
grow
also
with the
see, like,
market.
in the last year, I've been following a lot of comics creators on Twitter, and a lot of the times they're having conversation about such and such a book came out and it's doing great in kids markets, or such and such a book came out and it's doing great selling at Disney, but it's not exactly doing awesome selling at the comic shop, but it's doing great where kids shop, like Disneyland and like the bookstore. So
Yeah.
that's another transition to comics being like for all ages now instead of just for the nerd.
Yeah.
Nerds
which
like
is
us.
which is
Oh.
nice to see. Well, I like to see stuff for the prepubescent nerd. You know,
Yeah,
it's a
nerds in training, you know.
it's an important
You're putting training
marketplace.
wheels on your nerds.
Exactly.
Exactly. And nerds with training wheels. Speaking of digital comics and little nerds, a webcomic came out this year called Axe Cop. It was written by a 7-year-old, I believe.
5-year-old.
5-year-old.
Yes.
Probably 6 by now.
Probably.
And illustrated by a grown-up. Why I chose this was just because it was outrageously silly. That's about it. And it just got a lot of coverage in the tech media and the comic book
really
media
did.
because it was written by a kid, but actually drawn by someone that draws comics. So it's like, this is
I'm assuming they're
preposterous.
related. They have the same last name.
Yes, so they're probably
So.
father, son, or
Multi-generational
something like
effort
that.
being done here.
It's definitely really cute. It's preposterous, but it's drawn so it's like if it was just made by the kid, it would be I would find it unreadable because like, oh, this is terrible. But it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's got some real drawing talent, and the writing is hilarious. And the webcomic. I like webcomics.
It's what I find interesting about it though is that it does have that. You know what? Kids can make comics,
Yes.
and I'm not saying that any kid can make a comic.
No, but
But-
kids do write a lot of stories, so this is a way for this kid to get his creative juices flowing, I guess.
And I thought like it was an important milestone because it was, you know what, it's a little different.
Yeah, it's different from all the other webcomics or even normal comics you'd read online.
Yeah.
Or online or in the comic shop.
My third pick for Milestone is going to be Spider-Girl. This is the new one. Issue 2 only came out today. The reason I chose this one, though, is that I'm assuming it's the writer. On Twitter, you can follow Spider_Girl.
Yeah.
And all month long, you're going to be getting tweets from her.
Oh, that's cool.
But what's really neat is that the tweets that she does that are written as her tweet dialogue in the comic book appear as a feed on Twitter.
Nice.
So it's really neat. And this was actually a very rough issue for the character. And it felt so much more personal going through the Twitter feed because it's like it's like watching. It's very personal. It's very personal, and
it's one more level of interaction you have with the character instead of just seeing the character once a month.
Yeah.
You're basically having that character in your everyday life as you go through your regular day-to-day things.
It's almost like a friend.
Exactly.
It's like I know Spider-Girl probably about as well as I know Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I follow both on Twitter. Actually, I probably know Spider-Girl more than I know Drew
Yeah.
Carey. So this is taking another aspect of social interaction, social electronic interaction, and applying it to an old format comic books.
There's a lot of webcomic artists doing this as well for their characters, most notably being the ones for questionable content. The guy who writes it has like every character on Twitter, and then they interact with each other as well as interacting with the fans. So there's a lot of pretty interesting stuff happening.
Dr. Dinosaur is another one from Red 5's Atomic Robo.
There's a lot
really
of TV
interesting.
shows doing that as well with their characters. I think Community had that in the beginning of this season, where you could have followed, there were secret accounts you could follow as well, as well as the actual character accounts that would be tweeting, oh, OMG, school starting in a day, or look what Troy just posted or whatever.
So it's neat. It's adding an extra dimension to comic books that it's making a comic book an even richer experience for me.
Yeah. And now my final pick is Scott Pilgrim Volume 6. Not only because the movie came out this year, but this is also to sort of represent all the non-superhero movies that were made this year, that were based on comics, like The Losers and sort of Kick-Ass, but not really, because that's a pseudo-superhero movie. But I think going forward, more and more comic book movies will be made into, or comic books will be made into comic book movies that aren't superheroes.
Well, there's
That
other
sentence
stuff
makes
that
sense.
appeared in previous years, though, like Case of Violence or History of Violence.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of them, but
A lot of ones that people don't know are comics, and then and then it tells us based
Road
on the
to
graphic
Perdition.
novel by, and then people are like, "Wow, this is kind of cool. Maybe I'll pick up the book or something." But yeah, so that was my pick because I think, especially next year, the year of the superhero movie, comics will start to get into the public mind a bit more, and then people will be like,
there
"Oh,
seems to be
comics
a
aren't just
certain amount of
superheroes."
saturation happening, which is nice, or pervasiveness anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
But my big project that I'm looking forward to for 2011 is Craig Thompson's new book. It's supposed to be, his last book, Blankets, was like 600 pages.
Nice.
His new one is supposed to be like 900 pages. Sweet. And I just cannot wait for this. I think it's going to be great because I've really enjoyed his previous two books. And I don't care that he takes 3 or 4 years to put out a book.
As long as it's quality.
It seems to have been, he's 2 for 2 so far.
Sweet.
And I mean, if this third one's kind of unenjoyable. Carnet de Voyage, I don't really count as being a book. I guess technically it's his third book, but this is the one that I'm really I've really been anticipating.
Cool.
So, that's about it this week, and we will see you. Have a good New Year, everybody.
Ooh.
And drive safe, please.
Party responsibly.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Insight for our wrap-up episode. We're
Year-
kicking it off.
Year in review. We just thought we'd run down, in case you were in a small bunker
Yes.
for all of 2010, we'd go through the,
or you're incapable of reading newspapers or internet print.
Yes. Internet print. I'll leave it alone. In no particular order, we're going to start off with WikiLeaks. Big story of the year, as you probably, hopefully know. WikiLeaks has been around for a couple years now, I guess, but they haven't really done anything exciting until this year.
Yeah. On a funny segue, there was a Future Shop employee that I was talking to who was saying that they've decided to move away from the chip technology because of the compromise that happened with the whole WikiLeaks thing. I'm like, that's not in any way related. But,
No,
there's been a whole bunch that has happened because of WikiLeaks that makes no sense, but WikiLeaks is getting blamed for it.
especially in America.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you don't know what WikiLeaks is, it was a bunch of transmissions and communications between government people and their officials in other countries and things that were said and all that kind of stuff. Basically, what it summed up to was the states aren't really awesome to do business with, but you have to do it anyways because they're the
everyone
states.
kind of already knew that.
Yeah, so, but, because of that, everyone's now in a panic and people are getting fired.
And then the thing I think is hilarious is they know who leaked all the information actually from the government. It's some private in the military.
Yeah.
They know his name. He still has a job. He
Whereas-
still works for them.
Whereas the man who has been hosting the information on a website has been hunted by corporations
Yeah.
and everything like that. But that's apparently the world we live in today.
Speaking of the world we live in today,
Yes.
iPhone 4 hit this year, and it was
did.
a lot more interesting than all the other iPhone launches.
It was. The big problem right off the bat was, hey, my iPhone doesn't seem to make any phone calls.
Especially if you're on AT&T.
Which, if you're in the States, that's the only thing you can be on.
It's true. So they went through and designed this gorgeous antenna on the outside of the phone,
Yes.
which, most people would tell you is not the best of ideas.
And some people inside Apple told Steve Jobs just that thing.
Yeah, they probably don't work for Apple anymore.
No, because sadly they were intelligent and then they got fired.
So instead of fixing it, Apple released the phone anyway. Did not deal with the complaints until about a month and a half after release.
Something like that. And then their response was, well, we'll give you a free case.
And you kind of knew this was coming because Apple doesn't make cases.
No.
But
They
they
made a
did for
case.
this.
So they gave you the nice little bumper that you could put around. Now, that being said, we have iPhone 4s.
Yes, we do.
And we're in Canada.
And it's
and
fine.
Rogers Network really doesn't suck.
No.
I've dropped calls in only one location, and that's Sam's basement. And, that's...
paint.
Yeah, something like that,
I've never dropped a call on my iPhone 4.
So
I don't know. Even in my built in the 70s bunker office. So
Yeah.
I think it's probably an AT&T thing. But at the same time, it is legitimately bad design, and they kind of just went for it. It's gorgeous,
yes.
but not technically sound. So
But
a little something about Apple there. a little-
Yeah, and then unfortunately to make matters worse, on top of it being gorgeous with a metal antenna, they're like, hey, we've got this glass on the back. And our glass is Gorilla Glass, as they called it, which is stronger than any substance known to man, I think was what Steve Jobs said at the time.
Unless you put it in a slidey case,
Yeah.
apparently.
Or unless you just drop it like any other phone. Then it breaks.
Shatters.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of problems with that, too.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, we love our iPhones,
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong.
but there's some issues with them.
And really, this is the first time Apple's released a product, and they've had the entire world just hammer on them for how... It's like, you really did not think this through.
We get that it's pretty, but let's leave some room for functionality
Yeah,
here.
so, I thought I'd bring that up because it was really that it hogged almost all the media attention from
For about-
July forward.
Yeah, there was about 3 months of attention related to this.
because it was like,
iPhone.
oh, the iPhone's out, that's awesome, and then it was the hype up
It
before.
was the backlash of things that went wrong with the
Yeah,
iPhone.
well, yeah, exactly. Then I had the antenna gate,
Yeah.
and then after it kind of dribbled off, they were like, oh, and the glass is bad too, and it all came 6 weeks later. So, definitely a big story. Speaking of portable, tablets were exploding this year, apparently.
Yes. Stomping
in,
all over Netbook's grave.
in a very small way,
Yes.
because I don't really see that many people with them.
No, but apparently,
but
even
we
though
hear
we
about
don't
them.
see people with them,
We
they
hear
are
about
everywhere. Hiding in back rooms, in closets, and things like that.
So the iPad came out this year,
Yes.
which is obviously the big push there. Galaxy Tab came out this year.
Yep.
That did pretty well. A pile of other tablets failed.
Yes.
We got our Courier hopes crushed.
Unfortunately, which was a disappointment because we were all excited for the Microsoft Courier.
Yeah. A bunch of people tried. I mean, Toshiba the bread out.
Yeah.
We heard about the Acer. Maybe that'll be exciting next year. I think CES in a couple weeks is going to just be packed with tablets.
Yeah.
And it'll be like last year's
You know,
CES.
when you go to CES, all of their gift bags will just have tablets in
Yeah,
them.
and then 6 weeks
Have some
later,
tablets.
you won't want any of them.
No.
Apparently.
You use the tablets for things like cutting your food on top of,
And then you had
or
like at the
cleaning
beginning
the cat
at the
litter.
beginning of the year, Apple was like iPad and Google's like, no, Android's not for tablets. And then now they've
Android's
released
for tablets.
Android's for tablets.
Yes.
They're making a special honeycomb release for so it's kind of been all over the place.
And somewhere in a dark room, BlackBerry's going, we got something. Kind of.
The playbook almost makes me feel like they found it somewhere
Yeah.
because it's really not a BlackBerry made device.
They're like, shit. If we kill these guys that made it, no one will ever know.
Yeah.
And that's how BlackBerry got kicked out of Saudi Arabia.
That's fine. Worth it, I
Yeah.
think, really, for them. Because, if the playbook does not go well for them, I give them 5 years.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah.
But I'm stoked for the playbook for next year. If it's, priced reasonably.
Yeah.
As long as Lazardus keeps his mouth shut, everything should be good.
Yeah, so it's been an exciting year for tablets. Definitely look forward to CES the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Should be good. We'll have a lot of information on that, obviously.
Yes, we'll probably do
But you know what I can't turn around without being hit in the face by, literally.
third dimension.
The third dimension. Everywhere I go, there's something happening in the third dimension.
Like right now.
Oh.
3D.
Now, unfortunately, you folks on the other side of this,
You can't appreciate it.
because unfortunately it's two-dimensional, and we're not quite yet in 3D.
I can't even fourth wall it.
No.
No.
But just because we're not in 3D doesn't mean that everything else on this planet has become 3D.
Literally.
Except for the televisions in people's houses.
Yes, because no one's buying them.
No.
I'd be curious to see Boxing Day sales figures. Hello, America. Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. It's like Black Friday.
Except it's a little bit more reasonably placed in time.
And most people, we've never had any incidents with people getting hurt,
Or dying.
really. So, that's what it is. It exists. Ask the English.
But there was a statistic that came out that basically said that 60% of Americans had no interest in buying a 3D TV. That's more than there is people that are interested in buying a 3D TV, for those of you that are bad at math.
Yeah, I don't...
That's not a good sign,
No.
3D TV.
So 3D TVs came out this year,
Yes.
pretty much.
Yeah.
There might have been one, whatever. They came out this year.
And
they
in case
really-
you are interested in a 3D TV, buy a Panasonic. They're the best.
Plus, that way you can watch Avatar.
Yes. Because really, that's the only thing you care about at this point.
Yeah, because 3D TVs came out and they were like, oh crap, we don't have any 3D movies.
No.
Oh, and no one has 3D Blu-ray players.
No.
So
And these glasses look stupid.
Yeah, and they're 100 and change each.
And they don't all work on each other like they said they were going to.
Yeah, and then oh wait, they're still really expensive. No one wants these.
Yeah. However, every second movie, or even every movie and a half
is
3D these
yes,
days.
It is. Even every movie that should never have been 3D
Is now 3D.
is now 3D.
Sam and I were looking through movies coming out next year, and one of them's called Untitled 3D Shark Movie. Because it doesn't have a name yet, but it's 3D, and there's a shark thriller movie involved in said Untitled 3D-ness.
They don't know the plot. They know it's about sharks.
And it's
But
thrilling.
it's definitely in 3D.
It's the only important part is that there's sharks and it's 3D.
That's a good pitch line, though. Hey, you're a sleazy movie company. Sharks in 3D.
No, I've got a Jaws in 3D. There you go.
Exists.
There's your log line.
There
So-
is Jaws 3D.
So 3D's kind of IMAX has it, and all the new movies and movies that don't need it have it.
And movies that have it,
Don't use it.
yeah. And then some of them do it well. There's some gems. Tron was a good example.
Tron was good. They used that.
I'm
very-
excited for this BBC Life movie because it's
Oh, it's gorgeous.
it's the best implementation of 3D I've
Yes.
ever seen in my life.
Yes, it was gorgeous.
Um,
It didn't hurt my eyes to watch.
And I was like, this monkey is literally in my hands.
And I didn't have the problem where when I watched Avatar 5 times, I was like, I don't know where I'm looking. I don't know what's in focus anymore. I don't know where I
That's
am.
just because you're always drawn to the monkeys.
That was maybe.
Maybe. It's the monkeys. That
But
they're
I mean,
appeal.
really, then it's good for the people who shot it.
So all we can say about 3D is that, hey, it's still going to be around next year, but
They're-
maybe not in your house.
They're forcing it down your throats.
Yeah.
But if you are in Canada, there's still a pile of 3D TVs at ridiculous prices right now. You could probably drop about $1,000 and get a 3D TV.
Yep.
So if that's your thing and you want to watch all 4 movies that are out, you could do that.
Speaking of things that are taking off in Canada, the mobile market.
So this year we saw the introduction of small player carriers because we finally auctioned off that extra spectrum.
Yes. So we had Mobilicity and Win Mobile join our teams.
Yes, very exciting. However, at the end of the year, I was just reading this article last week about how, it's actually done nothing to the market.
Yep.
And you know what? I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
The choices are there, but I haven't talked to any customers with those providers who are fully happy. They like the price. The prices are great on the new carriers like Win and Mobilicity, but the coverage is not.
Yeah.
You really got to
And unfortunately, it's this vicious circle because they don't get people that are buying their phones because their coverage isn't great. They don't have the money to spend on better coverage to get people to buy their phones because their coverage isn't great.
And it just keeps going. And like they're trying really hard.
They are.
I see towers going up all over the place. I mean, I was talking to a guy in Chapters the other day about Win Mobile. He's a Win phone. He loves it. It's like $15 a month. It does everything he wants. No data, but does everything he wants. He's great. It's great.
Does that thing called phone calls.
It does this thing where if you're not downtown, you're roaming.
Yes.
He was in Barhaven the other day, made a call, and he was like, oh, that just cost me 30 cents a minute or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's not really, and then Rogers goes and does this chatter thing.
Yeah.
Just
Who
to like,
knows?
hey, new brands.
The long story short of this is the cell phone marketplace, although expanding, is still not good.
No, it's really, I want the competition to have an effect on the rest of the market, and it hasn't.
It just spawns things like chatter, which aren't really helpful.
And like prices have stayed. I've had a price increase this year. That's good. I don't know what to tell you. Kind of disappointing. Good to see they're trying. I think Win maybe has a chance because they have an enormous financial backing from that huge company in Egypt.
They're also spending a lot more on advertising.
They're spending a lot more on everything.
Because I actually see Wind commercials and adverts in the magazines.
Yeah, and they're in like movie theaters
but I
and
see
stuff.
nothing
Have
for
them.
Mobilicity.
No, and
Maybe that's because we're in Ottawa. And Mobilicity's not big in Ottawa.
they're
It's
new.
bigger
Yeah, they're
in
big in
Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah.
So maybe that's the area, but
I don't know. I think Win's the only person to stand a chance. But more gets auctioned off next spring when we have our digital transition.
But it's gonna be the same problem, so
It'll be the exact same problem.
yeah.
And it'll get, the little guys will get squashed.
It'll just get
again,
more
and-
segmented. We'll be running into towers left, right, and center, but never really have reception.
And then on top of that, since everyone's locked into 3-year contracts on the main carriers,
No one's joining them.
No
now.
one can do anything.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of
However, if you are excited with smartphones, there's been a lot of changes this year.
HP bought Palm. Hopefully a resurgence of WebOS coming because they're announcing some new devices.
Well, they brought out the Palm Pre 2, and that was pretty much the Palm Pre 1.
Well, the thing about the Palm Pre 2 is it was already designed and almost in production by the time HP bought them.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like... But hopefully,
Shit, all right, here you go.
Hopefully next year I want to see some big stuff from HP. Otherwise, they wasted like whatever it was, $500, like $1 billion, billion dollars,
I
whatever
think
it
it was
was.
like $5 billion or something.
Something stupid. If they don't do anything cool with that, I don't know. This was definitely the year of Android.
Now, it was both the year of Android and, in my opinion, also a bit of a breaking point for Android, because although Android took off, we saw some of the biggest problems with Android in the fact that they've taken off so much that they've segmented the crap out of themselves.
Out of just literally, because if you go out and buy like a cheaper Android phone, because it's about 6 months old, that's not going to have the new Android OS, and it's never going to get it.
Yes.
So sweet new apps like Angry Birds come to Android, but you can't play it because your phone's too old.
Unfortunately, as much as we hate the restrictions that Steve Jobs puts in an iPhone, it does give a lot less fragmentation to the phone, in that the fact that there's a good chance almost anything you pick up will run on your phone to some degree or another.
And I mean, you are going to see a little bit of fragmentation with the whole, first of all, if you have a 2G and you're in America, you're done. That thing's useless now. If
And
you've
your
got
3G's
a 3G,
on the way out for the most part.
it does not support enough. And it's getting slower and slower, even though they say it's not. Their software's terrible.
But you're still looking at,
But a lot of
phones.
The thing is, a lot of people upgrade in the iPhone universe because that's just
the way
it works.
Yeah.
So they can kind of do that. Whereas in Android, they're just kind of more the average person who doesn't really want an iPhone because it's that expensive. I don't really need apps, but I'd like one or two kind of thing.
So, I mean, the problem is you have phones that are 1.6 and 1.8 and 2 and 2.1 and 2.2 and 2.3, and so it's just... And the thing is that people that have Androids usually don't care what their operating system is, although it ends up impeding them.
Until they can't run Netflix.
Yeah.
And they're like, why can't I? Well, your phone's too old.
And then
Well,
they're like,
what-
okay, I want to update it. And they go, well, you have to wait till your carrier does it. And they go, when's that happening? Oh, whenever they feel like it. So.
Yeah, and it just kind of goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see. I think it's kind
Android sold a whole ton of handsets, but it has also been their biggest downfall.
and it's continuing to do it. So I kind of want to see it. I think if they get everyone to 2.0 and above, you're still going to screw half your market because no people are going to have older phones. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's kind of evening out to the majority being on 2.0 or above, but that's not everyone.
Yeah.
So
And in related news, Windows Phone 7 came out, and some people were happy.
I don't think it's selling very well.
Well, you picked up the other day and you said, well, this email is terrible.
I liked the interface, and then I went into mail, and I was done. Mind you, I did the same thing with a BlackBerry, and
Yeah.
everyone raves about BlackBerry Mail. So I'm just becoming a bit of a closet Apple whore, I think,
Possibly.
which makes me a little.
There's too
sad.
much of me rubbing off on you.
It's not.
Closet whore.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, but I think WinPhone 7 has a chance. I want it to become number 4 or number 3. You know, it'd be a solid 3.
It's already number 4.
Like,
No, it's not.
how
Yeah, it
do you,
is.
How do you get excited about your company when you're like, hey, I'm number 3?
Well, it's not their primary market. If they're number 3 and
I
they're
don't know why
like,
they bother at this point, though.
I don't know, they have to. I don't know.
They don't really have to.
Microsoft has so much money, they got to do something with it.
Why don't they, like, free Africa or something?
That's a lot more money than they have.
I disagree.
Besides, Bill Gates doesn't work for them anymore.
Microsoft isn't worth it. Anyway.
I don't know. They kind of took a little bit of what Android was doing, a little bit what was Apple was doing, and kind of said, "Hey, here's this," and then everyone was like, "I got a phone."
It's got a Windows symbol on it. That's about the extent of what I know about it.
I don't know.
Apparently it does things.
I want it to succeed. It tried so hard. It was
It's a little kid with the crutch that's still running regardless.
Like it came into the race, and then it was like, "Hey, WebOS, you're shitty," and WebOS was like, "Yeah."
WebOS is like, I'm really good, but I don't have the hardware to back
It's
me
like
up.
I hear where you're coming from, and it's like, "Hey, Android, I'll be back here."
Back of the bus. That's where I am. All right.
I
cool.
don't know.
And then to cap it off, net neutrality.
Yeah, that kind of could get shoved to the front of the political spectrum this year. You actually heard, regulatory bodies and the U.S. Senate using terms like net neutrality.
I don't think they really knew what they were saying.
Yeah, whether or not
but-
they understood it or not,
Yeah.
different story. But it is getting talked about, which is interesting. And seeing people like AT&T and Google kind of throw their weight around as to what they want. It's really gone nowhere. The internet is the same.
I still seem to be able to type in addresses and get where I'm supposed to go.
And in Canada it's a little different. We've had like Bell having fights with other people and stuff.
Who's
but
Bell not fighting with?
Well, that's who's not fighting with Bell.
Who's not suing everybody else?
But like, as the end user, your pricing's still the same, and I think that's really going to be the next couple of years. You're going to see maybe.
we'll see what happens.
Hopefully, I think either a framework's going to come together, or it's going to be like anarchy, which would be more fun. I think.
We'll just sit around with lit flags, be like, woo!
As
Net
avatars in WoW.
Sure.
Because, I'm not going to wave a flag for the internet. Sorry.
We'll have a flag waving party. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of Tech Insight because we've exhausted all of our options of things to talk about.
Yes.
Obviously, there'll be some tech news next year, to some degree.
Probably.
Otherwise, we're out of its hobby.
That's fine. We can move on.
Yeah.
Grow flowers or something.
Ford Raptor Insight gets more expensive.
That might be more limited than tech, I think. Considering
Well,
the 2011's already out.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it from Tech Insight this week. Have a good New Year.
It's kind of alive.
Nah, it's still dead.
Oh. Hi everyone, welcome to Mad Science for this week. We're kind of gonna deviate from everybody else because we're not gonna do a best of.
I just do a segment about robots.
Yeah,
Which is pretty much a best of.
pretty much. Except I'm not gonna be talking about the combination of all of human robotic crap for the
Yeah.
year because that really could go on forever.
Pretty
Really.
long time.
But we're going to kick it off with a story about an actual robot worker, which will actually tell you when it's not feeling happy with the work you're giving it.
Sort of.
Yeah. So the wonderful researchers at the Fraunhofer Institute the guys who we brought to you the last time regarding genetic robots.
Yes.
These crazy researchers have got their hands into a lot of stuff, and they've created a worker bot. And Sam, you had the best analogy for him.
He's like the android in
Marvin from
it's
Hitchhiker's
like Marvin,
Guide to
that's
the
it.
Galaxy.
Brain the size of a planet, and they asked me to fetch you two. Ugh.
Pretty much. If it's meant for assembly line work,
Yep.
and if this robot isn't happy with the amount of how fast production's going, it'll frown at you or look bored. And
So what you're telling me is that if this robot were on an assembly line with some human workers and it's displeased with the speed at which the human workers are working,
yeah,
it will tell you that.
It'll tell you that, and if you're the foreman or whatever, you
Yes.
could choose to speed up the assembly line.
oh my.
So you get a real I Love Lucy moment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch TV and movies and learn your history.
Okay.
Anyway, so the assembly line will just get faster until the robot smiles, and depending on
And
if
your
they've
humans die.
yeah, and depending on what they've done with this robot, if it has one of those genetic learning algorithms, that could be a very big problem.
Prepare for the robot apocalypse.
Yeah,
Our
and lots of
overlords.
jobs lost.
Exactly.
Anyway, so quick little spec on this thing. It has 3 cameras, a 3D camera on its forehead, and then 2 others so it can see where everything's coming from and going.
So pretty standard
It-
hardware.
Pretty standard hardware. So it's kind of neat. We'll have to keep an eye out for this one, especially as soon as it hits an actual assembly line. The last one we have, like I said, it's going to be short.
Help you bring your New Year's in style.
Exactly. Gentleman has created an iPod or iPhone controlled beer keg.
Sweet.
Except it has a little bit of a twist.
A little bit of a kick, if you will.
Yes, it has an air cannon attached. I think this is brilliant to a point.
Until you've had a couple.
Too many.
Until you've had a couple of beers
A
shot at
commenter actually in for the video and on the page said it's actually a pretty great thing. Basically, there's a fridge, and you actually can select the beer you want out of the fridge, and it comes down like a vending machine, and then you tell it to fire after you've aimed it.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
there is some interaction involved.
Oh yeah, there's interaction. You choose your
Okay,
beer.
that's good.
You can move the or you can move the cannon around, so you can pan and tilt, so you can aim it proper.
And then tilt that at your guests.
At your guests,
Yep.
and then you can tell it to fire, and it will just punt this thing out. But it's meant at a speed so that you can actually just like catch it, as if someone were to toss you a beer.
All right.
And someone in the forum actually made a really good comment on it, and that was, it's a great way to tell that you've had too much.
Yeah. if you
Because
can't catch it anymore.
exactly, if you miss, it's gonna knock your ass out.
Or at least you'll have a pretty shitty time opening your beer.
Oh, there's that too.
Mhm.
So either way, it'll tell you to stop.
Excellent.
So it's a neat idea. If you decide, check the show notes for, of course, the link. If you follow this, have a look and see what he does. If you decide to make your own, practice, of course, safety, not just when drinking, but when firing.
Start with some bean bags so you're not damaging your furniture.
You know,
or your
I think
face.
I would probably go with sponges than
Sponges?
than
no,
bean bags.
sponges don't have any heft to them, you know?
Yeah, and if you're not careful, you also kill yourself with a bean bag.
Well, you know, start slow and then, you know.
Yeah. But, so that kind of wraps it up for our, I guess, New Year's edition of Mad Science.
Yep.
You got a robot to work for you the next day after you've consumed all the beer from your beer cannon.
Awesome.
So, have a great New Year's.
Everybody, welcome Behind the Lens. Starting us off, the most ridiculous announcement of the year.
So Samsung came out and said, hey, at CES, you guys are going to see our new NX11, which really defeats the purpose if you're going to tell us about it. And then,
Now,
you know,
and then, yeah.
So the NX10 was Samsung's first jump into this mirrorless system that Panasonic and Olympus had already, you know, done. And the NX10 was a good camera. It offered a lot of features. We talked about
Very
it in the
cool.
show. We
Yep.
liked it. So the NX11, you know, bringing tons of new features. You want to know what those new features include?
Two new features.
Two new features. It ships with one of their eye function lenses, which is the lenses that you can push the button on the side and then use the manual focus
Albeit,
wheel.
it is a cool feature.
It is. It's a cool feature. However, if you have an NX10, you can update your firmware and get that instead of
For free.
for free. But the lens you got with your NX10 doesn't have that button. So now, you know, if you buy an NX11, then you get the eye function button.
Ooh.
And they've changed the grip to make it more
Grippy.
Grippy. Yeah, exactly.
Grippier grip. Now on the NX11.
Would you like to know what else they changed about it?
Bagel.
Nothing. That is not a revision, Samsung. That is you going,
It should have been.
we could have done this.
It should have been the NX 10.01.
Yeah, it angers me that Samsung has done this because it's kind of the case in point that companies just be like, yeah, we'll change one thing and it'll be a whole new camera with a whole new set of dollar value. No.
But it's not at all. So, should you be in the market for this kind
I
of
mean,
thing?
I can't get mad at someone for buying an NX11, but I will physically harm anyone who owns an NX10 and then decides they need to buy an NX11.
What if they really like that grip?
No. No. No.
Just no. Okay,
Just no.
Samsung, just
Next time you want to bring out a new camera, actually change something about the camera. Anyway, what's more important is that we've talked a lot about filmmaking this year. And we've talked a lot about filmmaking because it's been a really big change in the industry. SLRs are shooting video. Almost all of them are now.
on top of that, we've really been delving into that stuff.
Absolutely.
Specifically this year.
Yeah.
So,
We thought that we wanted to kind of give you guys a budget guide for making short movies. And since we know a lot of people have iPhones, they're popular. That's what I've been told.
that's, yeah.
If you've got an iPhone 3GS or an iPhone 4, iPhone 4 is better. But if you've got either of those, you have video recording capabilities. And ultimately, that means that you have the potential to make short films in your pocket. Because there's so much talk about this camera does this and this camera does this, when realistically, if you've got a compelling story and you shoot it well enough, it doesn't really matter what you shoot it with
exactly.
because someone's going to be interested anyways. I've watched movies that are shot on garbage cameras and liked the movie because the story was compelling enough.
And I mean, really, a lot of for your independent stuff, you're going to be putting it on the web anyway.
Absolutely.
And like the iPhone 4 can put out great stuff for the web without any problems.
So we wanted to kind of bring you a budget guide of some things that you can pick up to help make shooting film with your iPhone a little bit better. So to start it off, you're going to want to write a script because winging it doesn't really cut it. You
No.
miss stuff. You won't have good edits.
Post-production's ridiculous, or pre-production is ridiculously important to having a together film.
Absolutely. So there's a great company that makes a program called Celtics. And Celtics is a free screenwriting application that you can download for your computer. And they also make a counterpart iPhone, iPad app that's also available. It's $10, but what's really great about the application is that anything you write on it will get synced back on the computer, and then as you update on the computer, it'll get synced back on your phone. So it allows you to, while you're riding that bus and you've got that spur-of-the-moment idea,
Go in, put it in.
there you go.
And it's really good for collaboration, too.
It
If you're
is.
kind of working on a script with a bunch of people, you can all have access to it and kind of go back and forth.
It's
and
pretty
then-
cool stuff.
Yeah.
So we recommend Celtics to start writing your script.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, the iPhone does do some good video, but out of the box, you have some issues with it. And that's first and foremost,
Control.
no control. So there's a great application you can download called Almost DSLR, and it goes for about $2, which is an awesome price point.
Yeah.
And what it allows you to do is it allows you to lock in your exposure, your white balance, and your focus, so that when you want to put the iPhone on a tripod or something like that, you're going to be able to actually keep your exposure the same. Because nothing's more distracting than panning through a scene and all of a sudden it goes bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark. That's, you're going to have some blown out highlights, or you're going to have some dark shadows, but that's better than it constantly changing.
And you can really easily get that just by waving your iPhone around. Try it.
Absolutely.
I guarantee you.
So Almost DSLR is really great. It gives you some grid lines. It shows you your 16:9 format. It even gives you some information like where you're focusing, how much audio your device is picking up, that kind of stuff. So it's a great little application if you want some better control while you're recording video. But trying to record video by just holding your camera this way, really hard to do.
A little tough.
Yeah. So we've got kind of a two-part system that we've built to use our iPhone for us to shoot some better video. And it starts off with a really great case made by a local Ottawa guy by the name of Helmet. And you can buy it from his website, which we have in the show notes. It goes for about $24, which is a really good price point. Because most of the time these cases cost like $50 or $60. You can go and look up Zacuto's iPhone case. It costs like $150 for absolutely no reason, because this is a good case and it does a good job. And what's important about this is it gives you a tripod mount. And that's the single best thing you can do, because now you can put this on a tripod, or like we've mounted to a Cinovate grip. We've used a bunch of Cinovate gear this year. They make some really solid products. This grip goes for about $29. It's super easy to hold, and it gives you another thread at the bottom, so you can even attach this to an arm or to a tripod or something as well.
A little versatility there, yeah.
Now the other cool thing you get with the iPhone is that when you hold the iPhone like this, your video's still the right orientation. So you can actually very easily, in the middle of a shot, do something like this, and it's going to continue to record the right way, which allows you to do some nice low-down shots and things like that. So having the handle and the holder for it's going to give you some more flexibility.
For sure.
Now, once you've taken all that video, you got to do something with it. Now, there's 2 ways you can go about doing that. You can plug your iPhone in, you can download all the stuff to the computer, or you can be, on the bus editing your film right on your phone. Now, I had a chance to play with sort of the 2 top choices for video editing on the iPhone, and that's Real Director and iMovie. And as much as there were some additional features I really loved in Real Director, Apple kind of had the upper hand in this. And what I determined is that Apple is using some sort of, maybe it's code that everyone else doesn't have access to.
Likely, yeah.
That's allowing them to use a lot better compression when they're outputting their videos. So what I found is, although there were some limitations to iMovie, ultimately the footage looked the best when you edited with iMovie. It rendered out faster, it looked cleaner, it maintained motion better. And iMovie gives you the option to cut clips and trim clips and put transitions and put titles and add music. So you do have a lot of functionality if you want to make a quick little cut of your day out or something like that. Obviously, if you're looking to have a little bit more control, that's when the computer comes into play.
For sure, yeah.
Now, we've played with a bunch of stuff. We've used iMovie, we've used Adobe Premiere, we've used Pro, we've used Edius Neo. We've used everything from the simple stuff to the really expensive stuff. And ultimately, you probably don't want to drop $1,000 to shoot video with your iPhone. So Adobe Premiere Pro is out of the question.
Yes.
So what we're going to recommend instead is Adobe Premiere Elements, because we sort of both feel, from both of us who edit weekly, that it offers the most professional style template for editing.
The good thing about Premiere is Elements specifically is if you want to get into this stuff, it's a good first step because it's very similar in functionality and in layout to Premiere Pro.
Yes.
You just are a little bit limited in terms of the expanded feature set.
But it allows you to do multi-track video, multi-track audio, and stuff like that. So Premiere Elements is available for both Mac and PC. It's another reason why we chose it, because we like iMovie. We think it's a good editing program.
Yeah,
But you have to have an Apple to have it. So we wanted to choose Premiere Elements. It goes for about $130.
Yeah, and if you're in school, you can get an educational price. I think it's down like $60 or $70.
Something like that, yeah. So overall, you're spending less than $150 on all the gear altogether. And you'll be able to take some great video. So get out there, shoot some films, and hey, if you send us some stuff and we like it, we'll throw it in the show.
For sure.
So send us anything that you've shot, and we'll feature it. So that's our indie film guide for 2011, because we want you guys to go out and make movies, because we've been doing it this year, and it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. To wrap up this year, and as well as Behind the Lens, we have 2 things. We're going to announce our camera of the year and our accessory of the year. Here's both.
It was a pretty easy decision for us for the camera of the year.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we decided to go with the Panasonic GH2, and there's a number of reasons for that. First and foremost, Panasonic has done what is arguably the best hybrid camera out there. It has an insane amount of video features. It has an insane amount of still features. It's got great battery performance. Just lots of lenses available for it. It's a good camera altogether, and honestly, it's brought the most to the table as far as changing things than any other camera has this year.
We've had the opportunity to play with a lot of cameras. We played with the new D7000, 60D we shot with for a bit, 5D Mark IIs. Obviously there's different levels, but for price and features,
it's hard to beat.
It's tough.
So the GH2 is our pick for camera of the year. It'll be interesting to see what happens next year, what Canon's going to bring to the table. If you're looking for a really good all-around camera, pick up a Panasonic GH2. Now, we had a conversation about what we thought was the best gear this year.
Yes, because we did review a lot of it, and we tried even more of it that we didn't talk about on the show.
Yes.
A lot more of it, in fact. And we also picked up a lot of gear this year.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a discussion. But I think what we decided to do was our shape rig, because really it kind of had the biggest impact on how we filmed.
It did. We've used it in a handful of different scenarios for shooting interviews and shooting creative work, and we've been able to build so many different versions of the rigs to suit the different things that we've done that we really love what it's allowed us to accomplish as a studio. Now, obviously, it's not the cheapest amount of gear. We've got about $1,000 worth of shape gear that we've built on now, but even at the core, which is just the spider system here without the weights and everything, it's still going to give you, some extra flexibility to be able to shoot video with.
For sure.
There's a lot of stuff we like. Our runner-up, we'll say it, our runner-up was the Rotolights. We really love those. A great dollar for value for that product.
Sure, yeah.
But we just felt that there was the most amount of flexibility with the shape gear.
Yeah, what's to say? Quinn showed it to me, and I was like, yes. And then I wore it for 3 days straight filming, and then
at the end of it, he still said yes.
I was sold. It's considering there's way more expensive stuff out there. that I can't. I mean, it's not comparable to a Steadicam because it's not the same thing at all.
It's a different thing.
But we love it.
We do.
It's versatile. You can build into. We've even brought in non-shape stuff, and it just
We don't like it as much.
no. It's just
And on top of that, it's Canadian, which we gotta support the local
Yeah.
guys. So that wraps up Behind the Lens for this year. There'll be tons of great stuff coming out next year because hey, new cameras come out all the time,
all the time.
and boundaries are always being pushed. So we'll look forward to hopefully a whole bunch of new gear to show you in the new year. Hey everybody, it's that time of the show. We bring you a funny clip from the internet.
There's lots.
There's lots of them.
We've handpicked one that's near and dear to our hearts.
One that's kind of made of many, really.
Well, yes, yeah, it is.
The BBC has an insane amount of footage of animals because that's what they do. They run out into Africa and stuff.
It's their prime directive. I'm going to go film
footage of
animals
animals.
today because I work for the BBC.
I'm gonna conquer a land and film their animals.
Yes.
See, it's the British way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they decided to take some of the scenes that are relatively funny and give them British voices. So here's a snippet of that ridiculous clip.
Sid.
Who's that?
This is your conscience, Sid.
What?
You've been a very naughty boy, Sid.
I ain't.
Leaving them banana skins on the floor so people slipped on them.
No, I didn't. The bin bag, it ripped.
Bin bags? To dispose of biodegradable banana skins? You
What?
must be punished. Gets him every time. Alan! 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 Al! Alan!
Rabbit, bunny, jabber, rabbit, rabbit, bunny, rabbit, jabber, rabbit, rabbit, bunny, jabber, rabbit.
Shouldn't have had that 12th coffee. I can't even blink anymore, and I can hear my heartbeat in my ears. I don't get it. Mary had the same as me, and she went to bed hours ago.
Tell me about it. I tried to go to bed, but then I ended up bringing one of those late-night quiz thingies. Name something a woman keeps in her handbag.
What was it? A mouse?
That's what I said. Then I said phone, lipstick, taxi numbers.
What was the answer?
Spatula. They're just making them up now.
Alan! 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 Steve! So... It's really funny.
Go watch all of it.
Because it's all really funny.
I think it's like almost 5 minutes long.
It's 4 minutes, I think.
You gotta stick it in for the owls.
Yeah. The owls, they're good.
They got into the caffeine.
Those owls, when they're on caffeine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But sadly, that brings us to the end of our show and the end of this year.
It is.
We've loved making movies, and working on the show all year long for you guys. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back next year, same time, same place.
It's true.
You'll see us next week, which is, the new year. So no, we're not really gone that long because, last week was our break.
Yeah, we had, Christmas.
Yeah.
And things.
They do that occasionally.
No.
But, if you'd like to tell us what we should improve on in the new year or what you'd like to see from our show in the new year, you can send us an email at contact@almostfridayshow.com.
And of course, we're on the Twitters, so if you want to, you can always do us an @reply or check out when we release new episodes and things like that on Twitter. So we're at almost_Friday.
Yes. So until the new year, we hope you all have a great not Christmas. That's already passed.
That was last week.
I'm still drunk, apparently.
And it's not even New Year's Eve yet.
Yeah, all right. So we hope you have a great New Year's and you spend it with some people you like. And then when you're all done that, come back and watch us babble some more.